Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So we all say that with better data, you can make better decisions. I don't think anyone would disagree with that statement, but I don't think people quite understand the emphasis on what really good data can do for you as a business owner, even if that data simply validates what your intuition is telling you. So I can't tell you how many founders that I meet that are exploring CFO services, but actually have been working off of intuition their entire business career. And it's actually worked for them. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But what if the data actually validated the intuition and supported it and helped you actually develop the intuition so that you could actually make better decisions? And one of the things that I think is a hidden benefit of having really good data behind, and by data, I mean, by the way, numbers of all sorts of varieties, whether they're expressed in dollars or currency, or they're expressed in the count of leads or, a customer satisfaction score. Data is data. So data tells you a story of what's going on, and it helps you remove emotion from what you're trying to do and making a decision. I think the biggest plight of the founder, of the business owner, of the entrepreneur is that we let our emotions get the best of us to make decisions. I can't tell you how many people I have hired and let go of that I just know that that decision was really made a lot sooner. And I held on out of emotion. I held on out of, well, I really care about this person. I really don't want to hurt their feelings. But at the end of the day, logic kicks in and it goes, you are losing money every day, week, year, month that you are keeping this person on payroll. So when you are faced with the reality of the data telling you, hey, this is how much this is costing you, you start to make decisions differently. You start to prioritize differently because your job as the founder is to prioritize resources in different areas of your business, resources in the form of time and in the form of money. So if you are enabled to do that by knowing what will happen if I move the money over here versus over here, if you know the best way to allocate your resources, then you're in the best position to succeed as a business owner. So when it comes to the data you should be tracking, you have to be in touch with what actually drives your goals and what actually makes an impact for you. So without getting into the KPIs and all of that stuff, you have to define that for yourself. And then you have to be able to hold strong in basically capturing that data, committing to capturing it and committing to reading it and interpreting it. Because when you don't go the next step, when you simply track everything, this is also another problem. Tracking everything and actually digesting nothing. So by tracking everything, you become distracted because you have 30 different KPIs or all these different things over here, but you're not focused on the drivers, the ones that really matter to you, and you haven't bothered to identify what those are yet. So when you're looking at data, you need to be really hyper focused on which ones we need to pay the most attention to. What are the most important classes on the report card? If you're getting a C in English but an A in math, it's like, it's okay. I'm going to be majoring in math anyway. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. So you have to really be paying attention to all of the different aspects of your business and be consuming that data. Now, the ideal situation is that you have somebody to compile that data for you, and then you can consume it. The next level up is having somebody to compile, somebody to consume, and then you just have to react. You just have to consume their opinions of it or their conclusions. So the idea behind that is to take you out of compilation and into consumption mode and will allow you to hear what the data is trying to tell you, hear what the numbers are trying to tell you, because very, very often the numbers are screaming at you, but you're ignoring them because your emotions are louder, your heart is louder, your desires are louder. You just don't have the appetite for that. And I understand, but at the same time, they're trying to tell you something and you got to listen. So one of the most important things you can do as a business owner is to open up your ears, open up your eyes, and be willing to invest in from your attention, your energy, or even your money. Invest in compiling that data in a logical way so that you can make decisions based off of it, but also commit to listening to it because, like I said, this really came into play with me when it came to team because that was where I get the most emotional. So you have to tap into where do you get the most emotional, whether it be excited or disappointed, or where do you tend to have the most reaction to things not going your way or not going right? And if that is in team like me, then the thing that I had to do was start keeping score and I had to apply data sets and quantitative thinking into the qualitative aspects of that area of my business. Hey, real quick, are you learning anything in this episode that you think is share worthy? Well, if you could take a quick screenshot and share any of your biggest takeaways or quotes from this episode, post it to Instagram and make sure to tag me at Shannon K. Weinstein and at Keep What You Earn. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Let's dive back in. So I had to scorecard my employees based on demonstration of core values, because we have those, demonstration of their job description, and technical skill, as well as client relationship. So if I look concretely and I have to answer these questions about my employees, I can't infuse a sense of, oh, but I really care about this person. Oh, but this person is having a tough time and I got to help them out. No, we're operating off of their report card. Nowhere on the report card does it say, but you love them. So you have to be more logical because that will tell you the answer of what needs to happen without you getting your emotions involved. And sometimes emotion and intuition really does play a big part in decision making as a business owner, and it's a good thing. But sometimes it can be a little misleading. Sometimes it can actually hold you back because there's a lot of stuff that you know you should be doing that you're not because of your emotion. So I'm going to leave that there and tell you that I truly believe with better decisions comes better decision making, not just in the day to day operations of your business, but your overall strategy, why you do what you do, who you serve, all of these things. Better data is better decision making, but it will shortcut you so many years of mistakes and trial and error. I'm telling you. And when it comes to good data, I'm not just talking about having good books done. I always preach that you should have your bookkeeping done and you should have it done by a professional, but I'm also talking about, reliable data that is available on demand, that is available quickly for you so that you can turn around and you can answer questions thoughtfully as quickly as possible with intention and be deliberate. So, one thing that I keep seeing when people come over to our firm is they're used to their accountant, for example, delivering them a profit and loss statement once a month toward the end of the month after the month end. So if we're talking about January, they'll get a P&L for January by the end of February. Okay. So that company, that bookkeeper probably has a bunch of clients and that's the soonest they can do it. I'm not saying that they should get it to you faster based on their business model. But if you are trying to make rapid decisions, waiting for that P&L is not going to help you because that data will be stale by the time you get that P&L. A better thing to do would be to create some type of process with more on-demand reporting. The technology is there, we use it, and we're able to get our stuff done by the 10th of the month for our clients because we know that there are ways to get around that from a technology standpoint. And we also know which numbers matter the most. We are not going to hold back on giving you your financials over a few $100 in office expense that isn't finalized. Once the big rocks are in there, we're like, it's good. Like, it's good enough to make decisions off of. And I think that people get too caught up in the details of having perfect data down to the penny, or as I call it, really close to the decimal point, down to the dollar, the $10, even the $100. We really shouldn't be talking unless we're talking about the 4, 5, 6 figure differences because chances are that $10, that $50, that $100 is not going to make the difference between a yes or a no for you in whatever it is you're trying to do, even on your budget. And I'm going to do a future episode on how we approach budgeting and all that stuff, but we really try not to go too granular. We don't start from the dollars and cents and work our way up. We actually go top down, and there's a reason for that. The data that you see is actually easier to consume when you look at it at a more macro level. It really is. And you should be having access and control of that data as a founder. I'll get on my soapbox for a minute here and tell you if you are working with an accountant who hasn't given you access to the QuickBooks, run because it's not fair. This is my opinion. I mean, this is my podcast, so I can express my opinion. But my opinion is that if you are the founder, if nobody else, you should have access to the very records that this person's maintaining for you so you can actually keep them in check. While you may not know how to work a QuickBooks or a FreshBooks or a Xero or whatever, Sage, you may not be able to work those things from a tactical and technical standpoint. But if they're not giving you the keys to the car and they're just driving and just putting you in the back seat, how do you know what the hell's going on? And that's not fair. So, my advice to you would be if you're in that position, find a way to get access, demand access, even just to let them know that you plan on getting more involved, staying engaged, paying attention. You will get taken advantage of less if you do that. I guarantee it. I'm kind of in this like season right now where it's the end of the year and, well, it's the year end for accountants, which is the first couple months of the year, right? We're doing the year end from 2024. And I'm seeing a lot of patterns of accountants who are quote unquote stingy with their books. And we're taking on new clients and we're taking on new books and we're realizing like how much stuff was done wrong. Just last week, I found a $90,000 tax mistake by not asking the right questions. Future episode to come about that. But this is what I'm talking about where we talk about the data and the integrity of the data. You have to be on it. You have to be on it and be asking questions. And with that, you will find the value. You will extract the value of the data if you bother to connect how that data actually helps you. Because if you collect the data, even if you get it reported to you, even if you get it, concluded on and sent to you, and they make decisions for you or recommend decisions for you, it's still on you. You still got to own that decision and you got to understand how that data connects to that decision. And if that scares you, it's kind of supposed to. But that's your job as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. So I would challenge you that as you're collecting and consuming this data, that you start asking a lot more questions and that you also be really intentional and deliberate with which pieces of data you're actually tracking. I think it will serve you best in the long run. We realize that CFO services may not necessarily be accessible to everybody. And that's why we have packaged our CFO services into a power session for you. With this single purchase session, you'll be able to navigate the financial scorecard with me personally on your business and figure out what constraint you need to unlock next. We're going to give you direction, clarity, and we're going to find ways to increase your profitability, increase your cash flow, and make sure you never run out of money. Okay, if you're interested in booking a power session with me, I only do a couple per month, so make sure you jump on quickly and sign up. Check the link in the show notes for more information. I can't wait to see you in a power session.